Is CPR compatible with the idea of preparing for a comfortable and dignified death? I got to thinking about that just the other day as I was reviewing and looking back over my Hard Choices for Loving People book, and I ran across a quote that I have actually used since the very first edition of my Hard Choices book. This is the first edition from 1990. And I was writing a chapter on CPR and I was doing research on it, and I ran across an article in JAMA, the Journal of American Medical Association, from 1974. And it was an extensive article describing CPR, how to do it, what's the situation, how to make it work better. But they had a section in there on the ethics of doing CPR and considering whether maybe there are certain cases when you don't do CPR. And I want to read you the quote that I put in that first edition of Hard Choices, but it's a direct quote from the 1974 JAMA article about CPR. And I copied it out so I could give you the exact quote. It says, "The purpose of cardiopulmonary resuscitation is the prevention of sudden, unexpected death. CPR is not indicated in certain situations, such as cases of terminal irreversible illness where death is not unexpected, or where prolonged cardiac arrest dictates the futility of the resuscitation efforts. Resuscitation in these circumstances may represent a positive violation of the individual's right to die with dignity." So what they're saying is, if the person you're caring for is dying, we know they're dying, or they have multiple system failure or multiple diagnoses, nursing home residents, there's all kind of categories of patients where we know they're going to die if their heart stops. These patients were not ever indicated to have CPR. Interestingly, as CPR was developed in the 1950s and 60s, it just got to be so widespread that every patient in a hospital whose heart stops would get CPR unless there was an order not to do it. Became known as the DNR order. Some places call it no CPR order. Some places call it AND, allow natural death. But the original research, this thing from 1974, indicated, there are certain situations where you're not supposed to do CPR if you want this person to have death with dignity or to allow a natural death. So maybe the most compassionate, helpful, loving thing we can do for patients is allow that natural death.